All right, guys, we're back with part 2 on the Frabill Ice Hunter 200. So what I got started so far is I got the deck. I got it all cut out. So here's like my left hatch, and then I got my right one underneath of it. So what I did is like each one of these has its own hatch. I just split the 2x3s in half all the way around, so each one's gonna lift up. Now I'm working on getting these totes like setted into the hatches that are going in the rear, the two backs. Where's the other one? So what you have to do to these tough totes is these right here, these little knuckles, whatever you want to call them. It's for the lid, so it like the lid stays on. But what I did is I just took my jigsaw and I just set it up right, and I ran my jigsaw against the edge right here, and I just cut it flush off. And I got this one all done, so like you can see they're not on there anymore. Like right here was one, here was one, and they're just cut off. Get it as smooth as you can. And what I did is marking this up, because how I cut that platform, I cut it in half. So I would have the two hatches, it was just easier doing it in half. So what I did is, here's the layout. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but on here on the buckets, there's these holes that are already like pre-drilled in there. And what I did is I set this on there where I wanted it. I marked out those holes, and then I went a little bit in the inside because this is going to mount flush underneath of this. And I'm going to drill holes right here to the plywood, and I'm going to through bolt it with washers so the plastic doesn't snap, because like these totes are really tough. I mean, I've used them on other projects, but I mean, they never broke on me. And I mean, the 27-gallon one for the live well, I used it for a live well on a boat. And I mean, I could stand in it for how I framed it, and it didn't break. So then what I did is when I traced those dots out, I just went a little bit on the inside of them, and I got my straight edge, and I marked it, and then this is what I'm cutting out right here. And what it's gonna do is, you can see the dots in the tote, how there's a little bit of lip on the outside, because you're not standing on this, so it doesn't need much to hold that lid on. So that speaking, since this is gonna get cut out right before these dots, the through bolts are gonna go there, like probably like a mushroom head bolt, so that way it's just flush, or however you want to do it. Like you can no, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say you could screw them in through the bottom, but that wouldn't be any good, because you got a screw poke and I get it cut off, and it won't hold as much weight. But I think the best bet is just through bolting them. That's like your best bet. So then that's the layout. There's one here, and there's one right here. Clean it off for you guys. So this blue line is the outline of the 2x3s that are inside there, like the framing. So I just took my marker and I outlined the inside of a 2x3. So like right here is like part of the 2x3. And I just marked this all out. And then that's how I got my schematic for this all put up. How I was doing these tough totes. So like I said, those holes that were there, I know these bolts are a little long and excessive, but like you're not gonna see them anyways, and that's all I had really laying around. So you just, on those holes, there were holes that were in the tote, you just drill through bolt. I put a lock washer because of the vibration and stuff. And then, I mean, I just used like an impact. I cinched it down pretty good. You don't gotta go crazy on it. And then essentially, this is what you're gonna have. So you'll have a tote that's flush mounted in there. And then let me grab the hatch. And then the hatch, you see how there's like a little lip all the way around the edge? This hatch will sit right on that hatch, just like that. And then that's how you make those. That's how you make those tough totes level with your platform. And then like, see, like just the bolts come through the edge. I mean, you could cinch them down more if you want, just so that they're flush. But like getting them out is gonna be a pain in the butt because it will spin inside the wood. And you could possibly break this little gap right here. That little gap that's between there. So you gotta be really careful when you're doing this. But I mean, when you're careful doing it, you get, at the end product, you get a really nice, you know, flush mounted deep, or not deep stove, just like a regular tote stove. So yeah. All right guys, we're back for another update. So this is my left hatch, right hatch, and the two totes in the back. So the left hatch, this was the deep stove I was talking about to the sled. So it's gonna be on a hinge and it's gonna go up like that. And then I can get into the sled. Same thing with like the passenger or the right hatch. Same thing, get into the sled and you have all that room. And then right back here, you can see, like here's the tote. I mean, like I could put a lot of weight on that and it's not gonna come out. So I'll show you guys, for instance, like when I flip these up, these hatches, when I flip them up, right here's my auger. I just got a hand auger because around here, I mean, you really don't get that much ice, and like, see, that fits in there perfectly. No problem getting it in and out. Just grab it, pull it right out. Real simple. And then what I might do is I might integrate some of my poles, and I'm gonna get like pole holders and put them on the inside right here so I can snap them into place where I want them, and then they'll just lay flush right against this. And then like here's my fishing tackle box. So I just use like a Husky like bolt box, electrical box. And like I got extra batteries for my lights, some, you know, plastic baits, all our plastics, you know, all the goods, you know, all my teardrops and jigs and tubes and all that other good stuff. But like this, I mean, this itself, I don't know if it'll fit or not, but like if you guys had smaller tackle boxes, like that can go right in there, you know, or like your propane tanks, or like my minnow bucket. These can all go right in here just fine with the lid on, you know. And what I was talking about on part one, how I was talking about that empty dead space that's like in air, this is what I mean by it. So like, look at my auger. When I set my auger in here, this can go all the way back. You know, that can go all the way back, okay? And instead of like, if you want it really organized, instead of like I have it all in one area, you have a general area for something. So like you'll have these two compartments there, your deep stove here, and then these swivel seats, they get mounted right on top there. That's where your seat goes. This will pull back over. Your seat will be right here. And this can detach, take the seat off, and boom, flip it, put it right in there when you're traveling around. So I'll give you guys another update when it's all carpeted, all done, everything's all good to go.